Is Alligator with MACD trading strategy even worth trading? I took 100 trades with MACD combined with the Alligator Indicator, the same way a lot of you have been requesting. Use the Alligator to identify and filter the range market, and use the MACD crossover as the entry signal. Since taking the trade at every MACD signal is not such a good idea, we will use the Beep Boop indicator that we created on the Trading Rush channel, which is based on the MACD indicator, and will filter some of the false MACD signals in the slow markets. Since the Beep Boop and Alligator trading strategies gave good win rates on their own, it will be interesting to see what will happen if we combine Beep Boop with the Alligator Indicator. When you combine the Beep Boop indicator with the Alligator Indicator, the strategy looks something like this. When the Alligator Indicator is showing an uptrend above the 200 period moving average, buy when the Beep Boop indicator turns green and gives a buy signal. Stop loss goes below the pullback. When the Alligator Indicator is showing a downtrend below the 200 period moving average, sell when the Beep Boop indicator turns red and gives a sell signal. Stop loss goes above the pullback. In the long setup, the entry candle has to be completely above all the Alligator lines. Similarly, in the short setup, the entry candle has to be below all 3 Alligator lines. This is to filter some of the false signals caused by noise in the slow markets. You can learn more about the Alligator uptrend, downtrend, and Beep Boop indicator in more detail in their dedicated videos. However, when I took 100 trades with the Beep Boop Alligator trading strategy, I found out that when the Alligator and the 200 period moving average are both in a good trend, you will most likely see a good winning streak, because MACD will identify and give a good entry signal at almost every pullback of the trend. Because of this, in the Trading Rush app, the profit line went in an upward direction. But Alligator is slow. You see, the MACD, or in this case, the Beep Boop indicator, does not always give the entry signal after the Alligator shows the same direction. For example, in this uptrend, the Beep Boop or MACD indicator detected the end of the pullback first and gave an entry signal. But the Alligator was slower to react and showed the same trend direction a few candles after the MACD crossover. Since MACD didn't give a signal when Alligator was indicating the same trend direction, these signals that could have made money were missed, but could have taken by both the Alligator and Beep Boop indicator when used separately. So the signals the MACD Alligator strategy took were mostly in the middle of a good trend and near the end of the trend when the Alligator mouth was wide open. Since the market doesn't stay in the trend forever, many of these trades were lost when the trend started to reverse. After making a good upward move at the start, the profit line went in the sideways direction for the most part. Even though the Alligator combined with MACD got a 45% win rate after 100 trades with a 1.5 to 1 reward risk ratio, the Alligator and Beep Boop separately were way better. Even their profit graphs went in the upward direction and not sideways. The Alligator with MACD trading strategy gets a TR score of 23.5 out of 50 and ranks 26th from the top, above the stochastic trading strategy, and below the Fisher transform strategy. For reference, the MACD with the zero-line rule ranks first, the Alligator on its own ranks 8th, and the Beep Boop indicator on its own ranks 12th, but the Alligator combined with MACD ranks 26th. So as I said in the previous video, the best and proper way to use Alligator with MACD is not on the same time frame, but MACD on the entry time frame, and Alligator on the higher time frame.